What's up, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over the aftermath of the Royal Rumble for January the 30th, 2023, Monday Night Raw. The road to WrestleMania has begun. We have 3 matches, sort of, officially confirmed for WrestleMania and 2 matches announced already for the Elimination Chamber coming up in February. We're going to talk about that much, much more. If you like what you see here, or are listening here, whatever, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, hit the like button as well. Follow the social medias, Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Or not, nope. It's the same thing, but you know what I mean. The other audio platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts is where you can find this show. It's all over the place. Trust me on that one. Man, Triple H was cooking tonight, man. This show was actually really, really fun. I enjoyed this week's episode of Raw. It set up the stage for a lot of things coming up. For the Royal, or not for the Royal Rumble. We just went through the Royal Rumble for WrestleMania. And stuff that's going to happen inside the Elimination Chamber. And we do know 3 matches announced currently for the WrestleMania show. WrestleMania 39 coming up on April 1st and 2nd. And we'll talk about those matches once we go through the show here, because it opened with Cody Rhodes, the winner of the 2023 rather, Men's Royal Rumble match. And it was officially confirmed by Cody Rhodes himself and WWE, who were quick to put the graphic up. It will be Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Cody came out. Great ovation for Cody Rhodes. Man is super over at what he does. Ask people, what do you want to talk about? His little catchphrase they had in AEW. He recalls pulling up to the OVW training facility back in their early 2000s when he was training to become a professional wrestler. Recounts that he would be WWE champion within 2 years. Says that he was ambitious. Thought he would be the next John Cena. He says if he could talk to himself back then, you tell him that it wouldn't go that way, and questions if he would tell himself about the journey, about all the stuff he's went through, the Stardust stuff, the dashing Cody Rhodes, the bringing back the Intercontinental Championship to its former glory, the way the retro glory is what he called it, and winning the Royal Rumble match to secure a spot at WrestleMania. But he says he wouldn't tell his past self any of that. He says he wouldn't change any of it. He says, Roman Reigns, you've basically got 62 days in counting, and your Universal title reign is going to come to an end. So there it is. It's Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, main event of WrestleMania. It's not going to be Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn's going to get his whole shtick at the Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about the Elimination Chamber in a little bit. But while Cody Rhodes is going on, the Judgment Day's music hits. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio headed to the ring without Rhea Ripley, because Rhea Ripley is preparing herself to do her segment a little bit later. Balor asks Rhodes if he's here to do something original or just steal his old stuff per usual, talking about the Bullet Club. Dominic tells Cody that he ruined the Judgment Day's plans at the Royal Rumble, then says that he was supposed to win. Sure you were, Dominic. Exactly. Sure you were. Balor taunts Rey Mysterio for being unable to make it to the ring on Saturday. Where Dominic says Rhodes put his hands on him and ruined his moment. Priest says Dominic should be the second generation superstar main eventing WrestleMania, and he calls him a suck up, calls Cody a suck up, and puts over Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley's great. He calls Rhodes the golden boy and says he's handed us number 30. Well, I mean, sort of. Technically, it's true. Cody asks the Judgment Day if he's trying to scare him straight. Then tells Dominic that he has great respect for the Mysterio family. Dominic cuts him off and says, I have no respect for my own father. And I also have no respect for Dusty Rhodes. Cody. That obviously gets a massive reaction, heat reaction from the crowd. Cody says that he could play it safe until WrestleMania, keep himself getting injured and whatnot. And while that's going on, the crowd is chanting to Cody to kick their ass. And he says, or I can just go out of this ring and just start kicking every one of your asses. Edge's music hits, because he's not done with the Judgment Day. He blindsides them, starts beating them up. Cody joins in the fight, provides Edge some backup, and that's how that segment ended. And then we find out a little bit later on in the show that it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor in the main event. Great opening segment. Cody Rhodes is super over. He is the right guy to dethrone Roman Reigns. Don't know what you do with the titles after WrestleMania, but whether you want to split them or not, that's up to Triple H. But so far, his road to WrestleMania, the way he's booking it, and it's so far so good, and he just seems very excited about booking his first WrestleMania. Seth Rollins heads to the ring because we got qualifying matches. We had 3 qualifying matches tonight for the men's Elimination Chamber match. We did find out that on February 18th, Austin Theory will defend the United States Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. And then we found out earlier on that, we'll talk about the other one, Elimination Chamber match a bit earlier on. We had 3 qualifying matches. This was the first of the 3. Seth Rollins, Chad Gable. Great match. These two have great chemistry. But the match ends with a pedigree from Seth Rollins on Chad Gable to secure a win going into the Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber match. I'm assuming in that match because I don't think Seth Rollins is going to win there. I think that's where Logan Paul gets involved, and we set up that match for WrestleMania come April 1st and 2nd. Then we got Candice LeRae unsuccessfully losing to Io Shirai again. Because, listen, anytime I see this match be put on any of the cards, I'm like, well, Io Shirai is winning. Like, this whole, I think this should be a running gag completely that Io Shirai always beats Candice LeRae and Candice never is allowed to beat Io. I love that idea. But Io wins with a roll-up via a distraction from Bayley. And Io Sky wins her match with Candice LeRae. I don't know why I blanked on her name just a second ago. Then we got a video package recapping the Royal Rumble match and Rhea Ripley's incredible run in that match. Rhea Ripley comes out. She says that it's been a while. She's been in the ring without Judgment Day, but she wanted the attention to be on her. She says she disrupted the status quo 2 nights ago by outlasting 29 other women and earning herself the right to choose which women's champion she wants to face at WrestleMania. She says that her career was just getting started when she won the NXT Women's Championship back in 2018 when she won it, because she did win it at the end of the year that year. She came out on that Raw in 2020 when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble, and she challenged Charlotte to a championship match at WrestleMania 36. And basically, gave Charlotte her due, but she hated doing that, and says that Ripley says that Charlotte is always handed everything. She's in the title picture all the time. Is always on top. But Rhea says that she calls herself the disruptor. And she doesn't like how things are overplayed, like Charlotte always being in the title picture. So she advises Charlotte to enjoy everyone bowing down to the queen, as she put it, quote unquote. Then says that they will be soon bowing down to Rhea Ripley. She tells Charlotte Flair that she chooses her for WrestleMania. So there is 2 matches confirmed for WrestleMania. I'm not mad about this. Personally, I still wanted Rhea Bianca, but if this gives Rhea Ripley her win back from WrestleMania 36, I'm perfectly fine with it. And what's great about this is their first match from WrestleMania 36 was supposed to happen in front of 70,000 people at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Well, they get to redo that whole thing this time with the roles reversed, even though Rhea Ripley's going to get cheered over Charlotte. Charlotte is not getting fucking cheered over Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry. But she'll get to have her moment with against Charlotte inside this massive stadium, over 100,000 people, on whatever night this match is going to happen, and hopefully win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, what happens after this is an interesting thing because let's say not Charlotte, it's like Rhea wins the title. What's next for Judgment Day? Does Rhea just end up going by herself, or does all of Judgment Day go over? That's very interesting to figure out what they're going to do with that. Personally, I would just have Rhea and Judgment Day go over there together. I mean, or something. So that's, I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it's very interesting. And then we got a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly. She's talking to Seth Rollins. Rollins says that before they discuss the Elimination Chamber, let's talk about this crowd in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and his match against Chad Gable earlier. He says that he will take back the United States Championship on February 18th, rather. Then it's on to WrestleMania. Kathy then asked Seth Rollins his thoughts about being eliminated by Logan Paul in the Royal Rumble, and this is when Rollins' demeanor changes, and he just walks off, like he was either disgusted or just didn't want to talk about it. I don't know, but it is clear that they're going to do Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, which is fine. I don't care for Logan Paul as a person, but he's a damn good professional wrestler. And him and Seth Rollins are going to tear it up at WrestleMania. I can already tell. I mean, Seth Rollins can have a fucking 5-star match with a damn broomstick, and it'll be great. Next up, this is the second qualifying match. Johnny Gargano defeating Baron Boring. And Johnny Gargano is going to the Elimination Chamber. Thank God he got a win here. But Corbin gets rolled up by Johnny Gargano. And Gargano is going to the Elimination Chamber. At one point, Dexter Lumis threatens to murder JBL with an axe, but he murders the hat of JBL, and it was kind of funny. So, next up, we got MVP hosting the VIP lounge with Austin Theory. This was basically your run-of-the-mill segment with MVP. MVP says that he's been in the same spot that Austin Theory has been in. Yeah, he knows he's scared. He's talking about the whole thing with the Elimination Chamber being, because he was thrown around like a fucking, like Austin Theory was murdered in the Elimination Chamber last year against Brock Lesnar. But we don't talk about that Elimination Chamber because we don't want to talk about that year's WrestleMania. Well, I mean, that year's WrestleMania wasn't bad. It's just the build and Brock Lesnar winning the title. Yeah, we don't talk about that. MVP tells Theory that Lashley is more dangerous to him than The Undertaker. Theory says that Lashley won't be in the chamber. That's when Lashley's music hits. All this stuff happens. And Lashley goes for a spear on Austin Theory. Austin Theory pulls MVP in the way. And then MVP gets speared by Lashley. Lashley looks a little upset at himself for doing that, even though him and MVP are not on good terms right now, which is very interesting. Next up, you have Byron Saxton, who's just, creeping around because he does that. He goes up to Judgment Day, asks Balor about their inner altercation with Edge earlier tonight. Balor tells Byron to let Edge know that he works Mondays. Well, Edge technically is a Raw superstar anyway. Balor then addresses Cody Rhodes, says Cody has stolen basically everything from him for years. Talks about the two sweets line and the bullet, the gun gesture. Talking about Bullet Club, basically. I'll give my prediction at the end of the show, this review, about something very interesting I had thought of earlier. Let me hear from The Miz for some reason. The Miz is out here flapping his shitty gums. Adam Pearce comes out and introduces Rick Boogs. Rick Boogs is now on Monday Night Raw. He's back from his tricep surgery that he had, where he tore both his not triceps, quad surgery. He tore both his quads, one of his quads. He either tore both of them, both of them, or one of them. In the match at WrestleMania last year with the Usos, where he teamed with Nakamura, and Miz just got his ass kicked in his suit. That was it. So Rick Boogs wins. I'm very happy to see Rick Boogs back. I like Rick Boogs. He's very entertaining. Though I would have liked to see Rick Boogs, announce himself instead of Adam Pearce, but it was whatever. Then we go backstage. This was a very weird segment here. Otis and Chad Gable are going back. They're just walking to the back. They're getting ready to go into, assuming, a trainer's room. And the Maximum Male Models, yes, it's from SmackDown, are there randomly. They look disgusted. Maxine Dupree calls him perfect, and that was the end of that. They never brought this up again. I don't know where it's going with that, but it's whatever there. Then we saw the video package of Sami Zayn being destroyed by the Bloodline after all that good stuff there. Again, it's going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania. And you guys it's kind of obvious. It's been the story from day one, but that's neither here or there. Next up, we got Bayley heading down the ring because, Bayley's around all the time. It seems like gloating about attacking Becky Lynch last week at Raw is 30. Says that her Dakota Kai and Io Sky dominated the Women's Royal Rumble. Kind of. Sort of. She says her favorite moment of the match was eliminating Becky Lynch, and then says that she's done with her. Becky's music hits and says, no. So we ain't done until the man says we're done. And tells the shut up, calls her a dope, and all that stuff. Bayley says that she says that Becky sounds like she's acting, basically talking about all of her excuses and all that stuff. One line, which was actually caught me way off guard. I was not expecting her to talk about Seth Rollins. She brings up the thing of, Bayley says, you only married Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins only married you because he knocked you up. That line caught me off guard. I did not see that coming. So Becky's like, well, I thought we were only fighting over wrestling. Now it's obviously not about that. So he says, well, next week this all started in NXT, so it's going to end in Orlando. Next week, challengers are to the steel cage match we were supposed to have last week. Originally Bayley says no. Becky goes to the back, drags Dakota Kai out by her fucking pigtails with a chair wrapped in her ankle, and she's about to smash her ankle in there. And Bayley escapes to save Dakota Kai, and Becky Lynch tells her to go check on Io Sky. And we never did, by the way, they never followed up on that at all. So I don't know what happened there. Io Sky tweeted, oh shit. I don't know if she's talking about Becky Lynch. To me, I think she was talking about Kana, but that's just me. But good segment. I'm more looking forward to the steel cage match now, due to what we saw tonight. There's that Triple H booking make you want to care about what's going to happen next week. Speaking of next week, Adam Pearce comes in and talks to, Kathy Kelly is in there with Adam Pearce, talks about huge announcements. Basically, Captain Obvious decides to tell us, hey, we're going to do Becky and Bayley next week. Sure, we know this already. Then he talks about the other Elimination Chamber match, because Rhea chose Charlotte as her opponent for WrestleMania. Bianca Belair will have her opponent be determined inside the Elimination Chamber. He says the final 4 women outside Rhea Ripley, because they don't count Rhea Ripley as the final 4 since he won the match and from the Royal Rumble match, have already qualified. Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Asuka, or Kana. Kana, Asuka, you can call her whatever you want. He says the 2 final competitors will be determined in fatal 4-way match. Okay, let me rephrase that. I read that wrong here. Then he says one of the 2 final competitors will be determined in a fatal 4-way match next week between Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, Piper Niven, and the returning Carmella. Now, we don't know who the final person is. If I'm putting this together, I would say the winner of the steel cage match should get the final spot in the Elimination Chamber. My worry now is they're just going to give it to Ronda Rousey, and I don't want that. No one on planet Earth wants to see Ronda Rousey versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. If you are not going to give us Bianca versus Bianca versus Rhea, the only other match that makes sense is Asuka versus Bianca. This version of Asuka should dethrone Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. So my early pick, because I don't know who that final person is, but my early pick for that match is Asuka to win. Chelsea Green comes in. Chelsea Green might be, you know what? The more I think of it, Chelsea Green might be the final competitor here. She comes in, wants to speak to the manager. This Karen gimmick is gonna be hilarious, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. She says that she wants to talk to Adam Pearce about the unacceptable conditions and treatments she's received since returning this past Saturday. Adam Pearce escorts her off so they can discuss or whatever. The Karen gimmick that they have Chelsea Green playing is actually pretty funny. Bronson Reed beats the shit out of Dolph Ziggler in a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. Bronson Reed hits the tsunami for the win, and Bronson Reed is advancing to the Elimination Chamber. So as of right now, it is Austin Theory defending against Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, and Bronson Reed, and we are about to talk about the other 2 things here because we are backstage with. Well, before we get to that, we have Kath Kelly. Apparently, Kath Kelly, who apparently is everywhere tonight. She brings in Carmella. Carmella looks to be back into her NXT persona, which, again, that's Triple H going like, these other personas that you guys are portraying are not what got you over in the first place. And here's Triple H undoing another wrong by Vince McMahon. Carmella. People did like Carmella when she was the Princess of Staten Island character. People did like that. And then they fucking changed it to this. I don't know what they were calling it. Well, Vince did. Changed all of that. Same thing with Nikki Cross. She was the stupid ass superhero gimmick that was never going to get over. That I don't think was her idea, even though she said it was. I don't believe that for a second. She is back to being her sanity character, and we're getting so much closer to whatever they're going to. We didn't see Nikki Cross tonight. It's very weird that we didn't see any of that thing with who the fuck was it that she was stalking? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank here. Candice LeRae. So, and Piper Niven's got her name back, so that's great to see. So she's talking about, securing a spot for herself in the Elimination Chamber next week. Asuka, who coming up here, nicely dressed and in street clothes, might I add, not in her ring gear and a t-shirt like you would normally see her in. And Asuka Carmella tries to get in front of Kana's face, which is, first of all, a terrible decision on your life and health, because the murder clown's gonna kill you, basically. Asuka creepily laughs at her, revealing a balloon stain in her teeth, which is, I believe, is part of the blue mist that came out of her mouth that she sprayed in the face of Liv Morgan on Saturday. We'll go backstage. By the way, I'm loving this. If this is what we're gonna do with Asuka going forward, give her the shot with Bianca Belair. Put the title on her at WrestleMania, and just go with her as the champion. Have her go on a new undefeated streak from now until whenever you can, and have somebody be built up and build up Io Shirai to be the person as a babyface. You have Asuka eventually go heel as Kana, and you can have Io Shirai become this ultimate babyface to dethrone her. Boom! Masterful plan there. You can do that. We're backstage with Rick Boogs, Street Profits and Elias, who's celebrating Boogs' win earlier tonight. Byron Saxton walks in, and Boogs expresses his excitement. Then he runs off because they were talking about going to party later. Saxon asks Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford how they feel about their Elimination Chamber qualifying matches next week. Angelo Dawkins is going to be going up against Damian Priest. Elias is going to go up against Montez Ford. Dawkins puts himself over, says that he will be Priest before Elias and Ford begin to argue about which one of them will win. Listen, Damian Priest and Montez Ford are going to win their respective matches. There's no way fucking in hell Angelo Dawkins beating Damian Priest, and there's no way in hell Elias is beating Montez Ford. So that's going to be essentially the Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship is basically, if you really think about think about this for a second. Currently, your United States Championship Elimination Chamber match outside of Seth Rollins would feature people who would absolutely go for the NXT North American Championship. Like two of those individuals currently in that match are former North American champions, Johnny Gargano and Bronson Reed, and you add in Damian Priest, who is a former North American champion in his own right. Montez Ford, a former NXT tag team champion. I believe Austin Theory has been a champion in NXT too. Let me go look, because I'm not sure. No, he wasn't. He never won a championship in NXT. So outside of Austin Theory, everyone else who would be in this match would be in it. This is basically this Triple H's wet dream of an NXT match. This is basically an NXT Elimination Chamber match without calling it an NXT Elimination Chamber, which is funny. Main event time. This match was this main event was chef's kiss of a banger. Cody Rhodes defeating Finn Balor. Oh, this match was great. This was great stuff. Cody Rhodes is back. I'm glad to see Cody Rhodes back here. So Balor starts delivering stomps to Cody Rhodes' neck, an area where he's had the surgery to his biceps and bicep. Was it his bicep? I don't think it was his bicep. What was it? What the fuck? What did he have that he had surgery on? Let me see. I think it was his bicep, wasn't it? Oh, it was his torn pec. I know I said biceps. Torn pec. And Balor would work on that in the entire match. Rhodes at one point would send them over the announcing. So Rhodes on the ring outside. He already hit a suicide dive onto Finn Balor. seeing Balor over at the announce table. Cody Rhodes is standing there, and somebody just comes flying like past the camera. I didn't know who it was until they had bitched it was Damian Priest just flying over the barricade. Same thing happened to Dominic Mysterio. Rhea's checking on Dominic, of course. So Cody sends Balor back into the ring, delivering a power slam to Balor. Cody looks for the Cody Cutter. Balor fires back with an elbow drop. They go to commercial break, then they come back from commercial break. They were supposed to be picture. The feed I was watching was supposed to have picture in picture, but it kept cutting back to weird. It was very weird. Cody Rhodes and Balor were teetering on the top rope. Balor manages to pull out a superplex on the two men to exchange right hands. Cody eventually delivers the Cody Cutter, goes for the pin, but Balor kicks out. Balor delivers the sling blade, then charges at Cody. Cody was able to catch him with a super kick. Then looked to lock in the figure four. Balor avoids it, sends Cody to the outside. Judgment Day starts circling around Cody. Edge comes through the crowd and starts laying out Dominic and Priest. Rhea then attacks Edge. Beth Phoenix runs down, hits a spear of her own inside the ring. Balor delivers a double stomp and the drop kick, the shotgun drop kick into the corner to Cody. Ascends to the top rope, looks to hit the coup de grace. Balor gets onto the ring apron to distract Finn for a little bit. Cody rolls out of the way of the coup de grace, hits 3 crossroads for the win. Cody Rhodes wins his first singles match back after the Royal Rumble. That was a hell of a main event. I'm not surprised Balor and Cody put on a banger. It's Cody Rhodes, it's Finn Balor. I was very happy to them play a little bit of the history with Bullet Club, which I thought was pretty cool. Next week, I'm excited for next week's Raw. The fact that I'm actually excited for the road to WrestleMania this year is incredible because this tonight felt like an actual road to WrestleMania. It hasn't felt like that in many, many years. You can tell based on how this show was tonight, and it was a really good show, that Triple H is very excited to book his very first WrestleMania. Now, let's talk about next week's show next week. So we got the steel cage match between Bayley and Becky Lynch, which is probably going to main event the show. We have Angelo Dawkins taking on Damian Priest and Elias and Montez Ford in those 2 qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber match. You got the Fatal 4-Way match for the women's side of the Elimination Chamber qualifying series. Carmella, Michin, Mia Yim, Piper Niven, and Candice LeRae. And I believe there was another match. There might have been another match announced, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We were supposed to have a Bianca Belair segment. They had the graphic and everything for it, but they just was never brought up again. So I don't know what happened there. We'll find out about that. But something I have, here's my little prediction here. So, Cody Rhodes, I think, is going to beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. To me, that feels like the logical step here. But the next night is what I want to talk about, because this is going to be the first year that Triple H is going to be booking the Raw after WrestleMania, and usually the last few years of Raw after WrestleMania hasn't felt like the Raw after WrestleMania. Like the Raw after WrestleMania 33? So, to me, felt like a Raw after WrestleMania because the whole thing with Roman and The Undertaker, that massive reaction that the crowd was giving Roman after beating The Undertaker. So what I think is going to happen, and this I don't know, this is actually the perfect idea to do this because, first of all, you're going to be in where are you going to be for the Raw after WrestleMania? I believe you're going to be in Los Angeles still. So let's check. Let's go down to here. Yeah, they're going to be in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles, LA is a smart town, a smart town. And guess what? Those fans that came over from all over the world are going to be there for WrestleMania weekend. Here's what you do: Cody Rhodes celebrating in the middle of the ring as Universal Champion, and I wouldn't even open with Cody Rhodes on that show. Right? I would play up the entire night that Cody Rhodes is going to be here, your new Universal Champion or whatever, and he's cutting a promo and whatnot. And who should make their debut, their WWE debut? It's a man who I think should skip NXT completely. And Triple H, if Triple H gets him, he should skip NXT because he's too good to be on that ridiculous fucking show on Tuesday nights. We see the debut of Switchblade Jay White. And that crowd is going to lose their absolute goddamn shit. And I'm okay with it. I would love to see Switchblade Jay White come in at the end of of that show and just fucking beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes, establishing himself as like the next guy. It's basically like, these people don't know who I am. You know who I am, Cody. I'm Switchblade Jay White. And you're going to learn that I'm Switchblade and all that stuff they would say. And he'll use all of his catchphrases. And he'll be like, well, now you're going to be in my era, the Switchblade era. Breathe with the switch, all that good stuff. And I'm just, that's what I would love. That's me personally as a fan would love to see that. What happened? I don't know. That remains to be seen. I don't even know if we don't even know if Jay White is even going to leave New Japan Pro Wrestling. It looks likely, but we're not sure. Another big news story that came out this morning, actually, regarding speaking of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Japanese government, I think, believe so. The people over there who are doing all the health stuff have officially lifted their ban on the cheering for crowds and whatnot. If I can pull up the article, I found that on Scott E's Wrestling. If I can find his thing, if I can find it, I'm gonna read the entire thing I'm gonna read it if I can find it, but it's once I translate it. But I'm gonna find the damn thing. Okay, here we go. It's from Tokyo Sports .co. Actually reporting this, so it's kind of an official thing here. So I'm assuming. Oh nope. Okay. Nope. I didn't click the. There you go. So here we go. I'm trying to figure this out. All right, here we go. So this is News Bushi Road Group. Actually, this is Bushi Road, not the Japanese government. Excuse me. So they have abolished their upper limit number of people who can hold events by the government. This was announced so this was announced from the government on the 27th of January, and in principle, no limit on the number of people voice, basically cheering and booing and all that stuff, so people can start being vocal at these shows. They've also lifted the mask mandate that they had. So basically what this means, that the upcoming shows for Japan, when it comes to pro wrestling, STARDOM have a show this coming weekend. If I can So Stardom has a show coming up this weekend in February 4th, the Super Supreme fight in Osaka, Japan. This will be the first show to feature a full capacity crowd. We'll also be able to have, people will be able to cheer for all these people on this show. So people will be able to cheer for, Starlight Kid if they wanted to, Hazuki, Shiri, Konami, Utami Hashishida, Azumi, Lady C, Mayu Utani. They'll be able to cheer for all these people, Maika, Julia, Momo Watanabe, if they probably won't, because Momo Watanabe is probably her heel run is fantastic, so it feels great. Saya Kamatani, they can cheer for that. And there's also a New Japan show coming up. It's a 2-day event. You got the new beginnings in one of the new beginning shows. One of the shows is going to be main event by Shota Umino and Tetsuya Naito. Naito, who at this point, next month will actually wrestle Muto in his final match. But I don't know if Noah's going to lift that band yet. But it's great to see that they're going to be able to have cheering and full crowds again at these Stardom and New Japan shows. I got just hearing. Last night I was rewatching the historic crossover show because again I really love that show, and just hearing clapping for an incredible match that was main event between Mayu Iwatani and Kairi just didn't feel right to me. So. And I put this tweet out earlier today when I found out about this, and I said, I can find it. I said, Bushiroad officially lifted the ban on cheering for New Japan and Stardom shows going forward. This is huge for the eventual Starlight Kid versus Azumi rematch with vocal crowds are going to be so good. So I can't wait for that. But that's just one big story there. I just want to talk about that. We have NXT Vengeance Day this weekend. This will be the first NXT show to take place outside of Florida, aside from last year's Takeover Stand and Deliver. But this is going to be the first standalone show to take place outside of the PC in Orlando. Since Takeover Portland in February 2020, when that show, of course, was main evented by Adam Cole defending his NXT Championship against Tommaso Ciampa. That was the night that Johnny Gargano turned heel on Tommaso Ciampa, and that was the last. I believe that was the last. No, it wasn't actually. It was not the last big show in front of fans. The last big show, of course, was the Elimination Chamber that year, but. This card, I'm going to through it quickly. I'm not going to review the show, but Roxanne Perez, who had a great showing in the Royal Rumble, who I think should be on the main roster, I would say after WrestleMania. I would bring her up after WrestleMania. She will be facing Gigi Dolan and JC Jane with her NXT Women's Championship on the line. I don't know how I don't think Gigi Dolan and JC Jane are going to win. Neither one of them are going to win that. I see Roxanne Perez retaining here. Braun Breaker will retain against Grayson Waller in a steel cage match. I think Grayson Waller might be headed up to the main roster very soon. I can see Donovan Dijak defeat Wesley for the North American Championship. The New Day. I think the New Day will retain the NXT Tag Team titles. They'll be taking on Gallus, Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey. Pretty Deadly's Elton Prince and Kit Williams, and the winner of a triple threat match, which is going to be the Dyads. I'm not going to call them the fucking Dyads. No. We ain't doing that. The Grizzled Young Veterans is I guarantee the moment these guys come up to the main roster, Triple H is going to put them back as the Grizzled Young Veterans. Not Malachi. Blade and if I don't even watch NXT, so I'm not gonna. And Chase University, that's probably gonna be Chase University, Andre Chase and Duke Hudson, who are Andre Chase is great. I love Andre Chase. I don't watch much of NXT, or I don't really watch it at all, but I do watch the Andre Chase stuff because he is money. I love his stuff. Apollo Crews versus Carmella Hayes for a 2 out of 3 falls match. Carmella Hayes needs to get to the fucking main roster immediately. And then we have the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter will defend against Fallon Haney and Kiana James. I guess Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are going to win on that one as well. We got NXT, so we got AEW Dynamite. Hopefully, I'm hoping to actually record Dynamite this week. So who knows? I don't know. I'm not gonna do anything for Thursday. Thursday is my birthday. But I can't. But I'll do something. I'm working on a little show that I'm putting together. All my 2K games here, 2K22 stuff, and doing a little bit on 2K19. It's because I have mods on both games. WAW New Japan Pro Wrestling show. It's a little WAW is not associated to the company that parents run, but I do. It's a little 2K thing I do on Universe Mode. Massive card on that show. Capital Collision. I'm going to run through this card here. I've got to run through this card because I know it's not a real card, but I'll show you what my matches are on here because this could be great and it'll be eventually up on the WAW Wrestling 2K channel that I have. I believe it's WAW Wrestling WWE 2K22 or something like that. We have a pre-show match that I put on there. It's going to be like the Stardom New Japan Rambo, which is basically a Royal Rumble with pinfalls. And submit. So it's basically, I can't really do that in this game, unfortunately, because it doesn't do it like that. But their version of a Royal Rumble is like it's the Battle Royal with Royal Rumble type entrance with pinfalls, with basically everything legal. Like it's basically a normal match with a Battle Royal and a Royal Rumble mixed together. But I can't do that here, obviously. So it's just a normal 20-woman Royal Rumble. I'm actually going to tell you the entrance on that show. Winner of that match gets a shot at the WAW Women's Championship at some point that I put on here. So the entrance I have listed on this Rambo. Kaylee Ray, Alexa Bliss, Toni Storm, Shayna Baszler, Mai Iwatani, Jamie Hayter, Rhea Ripley, Hazuki, Miya Yamashita, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Hikaru Shida, Unagi Sakai, Sayaki or something like that. Tam Nakano, Jungle Kiona, Shiri, Kunami, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Mia Yim on that one. Some of these matches, so I could tell you maybe 1, 2, 3 matches, 4, 5 matches was recorded. 5 or 6 were recorded on 2K19 on here. I have Shingo Takagi and Micah versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. High speed title. Azumi against Xia Li on here. One match I haven't recorded yet, but I'm getting to it. Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson versus Gorillas of Destiny for the tag titles. Great Buddha versus John Moxley. Al Desperado and Starlight Kid versus Gargano and Candice. Punk and Kenta. Cody Rhodes and Jay White, Steel Cage. Fatal 4-Way IWGP Women's title I have on here. Kairi, Io Shirai, Asuka, and Utami Hayashishita. I have an IC title called the WAW IC Champion, Tommaso Ciampa, versus the IWGP US Champion, Kenny Omega. Winner takes all. Boom, there's that. Minoru Suzuki for Brock Lesnar. Naito challenging Karrion Kross for the WAW Championship. Julia defending her WWE title against Momo Watanabe from Oedo Tai. Repping Oedo Tai, got my Oedo Tai shirt. Which you can find on New Japan Pro Wrestling's American shop, which I didn't know about until like a few days before I ordered the Oedo Tai shirt, because it was the only one that looked cool in Oedo Tai. I think it's, yeah, a lot of people don't like Oedo Tai, but I like heel factions, okay? And Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, they're some of my favorite wrestlers that I like on Stardom's roster, okay? And the IWGP Women World Championship, Okada versus Malachi Black. But that again, that's my little fantasy card thing that I put together. I'm still working on recording it, and I will let you guys know if you want to see that. And you again find that on YouTube. Very simple. WAW Wrestling. On YouTube, it's WAW Wrestling WWE 2K22. I'll probably change the name of that Twitter, that YouTube channel. But anyways, that's all I have for tonight. That was Monday Night Raw. Very good episode, Monday Night Raw. Very looking forward to this road to WrestleMania. Hopefully, SmackDown is better than the last week. We'll find out. We'll find out what's next with the Bloodline. After that incredible fucking ending to the Elimination Chamber, that show hasn't happened yet. To the Royal Rumble. I believe there's we got the finals of the tag team tournament, but I've been Matt the Misfit. Until next time, I will see you guys here for AEW Dynamite. Until then, we're out.